What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Listen here. We are back with our normal daily of a new drink that we saw on TikTok. It was called Candy Apple. And the ingredients is some Crown Royal Apple, as you see, and some Minute Maid Fruit Punch. We did not get Minute Maid Fruit Punch. We got just regular fruit punch. It's all that we could find. Like I said, it was $24 to go get yourself some Crown Royal Apple.
Yep.
Minute Maid lemonade. I'm
just
pretty
any
sure
fruit punch.
any fruit punch, honestly.
Like lime punch.
And it comes out to really be red. I was curious because we saw it on TikTok and we're like, "Ooh, that's an interesting drink to try."
Well, when you think about it, punch.
Fruit
punch is red, and Crown Apple is not green.
No, sometimes you get false advertisement.
Well, okay.
Sometimes you get
You're
false.
not wrong.
That's not wrong.
So we mixed it with that, and we mixed it with, like we said, fruit punch. And honestly, it tastes kind of like a candy apple.
It does.
Like, I got mine. We've been drinking on for a little minute.
We've been drinking a little minute. And it really is good. You don't really... Like, you get the Crown Royal Apple, but it doesn't...
There's no... Like,
no bite.
You guys, there's no bite. If people kind of like, I couldn't alcohol flavor. I mean, alcohol, you could pour a heavy hand and get any kind of that bite or that sting you get kind of in your chest, but...
We messed with our pours a little bit. We started out a little low, went more fruit punch, and then we're like, okay, we added more Crown.
Okay, well, it's really 2.5 shots is what I do. So, you just not know, but it's 2.5 shots. I mean, at a glass like this, we go about, about right here.
I definitely, again, I'd recommend this one. Definitely.
It's very good. I mean, it's biased because I really like Crown. I've gotten him onto Crown. He has a little Crown collection now, finally starting up.
Yes, I do.
I'm very proud of my man.
Yep, I got the new one that just came out.
Just dropped single malt.
Just dropped. Went ahead and got me one. He got his too.
Let's go ahead and show them this beautiful bag that Crown dropped.
Yes, we did. Make sure I don't rip my
box. This is the second drop that Crown has done this year.
Here we go.
The other one was blackberry.
I like this bag. I'm not going.
Clean.
The bag clean. Very clean. Love it. As you can see.
Reminds me a lot of the Crown XO bottle.
Yes. So
I like the new design though. I do
like
it.
Just so you guys are aware, we will be trying this one next week. This is going to be he's going to go figure out what to try to mix with this one. That's his job, and we'll be back next week to let you know. But yeah, definitely go out and get this one. It was $54. Obviously, just dropped limited edition, so check your local
liquor store.
See if they got it.
In town, in Kansas has it. We're one of the slower states to get alcohol because of alcohol laws, but we do have it.
Box clean too. Box very clean. So, like I said, I added another one to my collection. Very proud. Getting mine started, not his. We will have to get you on to show your collection. We did say that earlier when we started. We'll have to get that done, but yeah. So, definitely go out and try this. What would you rate this one? 1 to 10. What would you give this one?
I think it was a solid 9.
Yeah, woo.
Solid 9.
I did agree. Solid 9.
I think it wasn't fruit punch. We stopped at the gas station at our local Casey's and they had fruit punch soda, not fruit punch. I think with fruit punch it would be a little bit better without the kind of that bubbly of the soda.
Yeah.
But it's still very good, and I would have to give it a solid 9.
Yeah, I would too. Definitely a good drink to just, if you're outside chilling on a summer day, just want to relax. This would be a great drink to have. So I definitely highly recommend. Drink responsibly, obviously.
Or don't. I don't care.
50-50.
Be 21 at least.
But yeah, definitely make sure you tune into next week because we're going to be trying that single malt.
Single malt.
It's going to be very intriguing.
Like he did say, it is a limited release of their single malt. So very curious to try.
We've been waiting for what,
about 3 months now.
3 months,
for them to finally release that one after.
Still waiting on that fucking blackberry, motherfuckers.
Some of us have had it.
Some of us have not had it yet.
Some of us had 2 bottles of it and enjoyed all of it.
Some people had 2 bottles and didn't even think about his co-host.
Yeah,
didn't think about his co-host.
You had a sip.
I had the can.
I brought my tumbler over with it in it, and you had some.
That's still not fair.
It's not
the same.
Well,
but yeah, definitely recommend it. Go out and try it. Mm-hmm. And some other news, real quick. We did have a passing of a Hall of Famer, Larry Allen. He suddenly passed away at the age of 52. down in Mexico. So the condolences out to the Allen family and to the NFL. He was one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever touch the football field.
Yep.
So our condolences to them.
As well as the NBA player that passed.
Bill Walton recently just passed away. He lost his battle to cancer. That's
arguably one of the best trailblazer, I do believe.
Trailblazers, Celtics, played at UCLA. We know the history at UCLA.
Probably the funniest commentators.
Yeah, I love Bill Walton.
Basketball.
And then in some other news for our Kansas City Chiefs, go ahead.
Thompson, I do believe, our defensive lineman, he had a seizure. He had a seizure and went into cardiac arrest.
Yep.
And it just came out that he is now conscious and stable, and vitals are good. And so
happened at Chiefs practice. They did
happened during special teams.
Yep. So I'm happy to hear that he is awake. Obviously, definitely gonna be a long road to recovery. I don't know. We'll see him on the football field this year.
He'll probably be back. Not to downplay his injury, but it was just
it
was a seizure. So figure out medically why he had a seizure. Yep. And why that seizure put him into cardiac arrest. Yep. But thankfully, the chief staff, the medical staff, acted promptly. Yep. And kudos
so he is awake, which is good
KU
news.
Med or whatever hospital he did end up going to.
So he's awake.
His recovery.
Definitely going to be a little bit of a road to get back on the playing field, which I think he will play at some point. But definitely got to figure out what triggered that. Obviously, can't be going into cardiac arrest. Obviously, that's
you can't be having seizures.
No,
so on the football field.
No, you definitely cannot. So, getting into
speaking of the NFL, though, we're speaking of the NFL.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead.
Go ahead. NFL.
You
got pops that one time.
Yeah,
speaking of the NFL, big news drop.
Someone got paid.
Justin Jefferson did get paid. Finally,
is paid the right word? Is paid really the right word?
He got the pay. He got the
He got the bolt. He got it all.
They bricked up that brink truck.
He got
about 3 of those brink
He
trucks.
got a 4-year, $140 million contract, $110 million guaranteed. I'm gonna repeat it again. 110 of the $140 million is guaranteed, making him $35 million per year, the highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League, and one of the highest contracts for a non-quarterback.
It's the highest non-QB average, highest non-QB guaranteed money for a non-QB as well. He literally did not get only $30 million guaranteed, which is outstanding. Like, kudos to him. He deserved it. We talked about it. We touched on it a little bit because the contract, there was talks out there that he was going to get paid. What was it? We were around.
Well, we were talking about, like, were we going to see a $40 million wide receiver?
Well,
You
thought. No.
Could he have gotten more? No. Could he have gotten more? Do you think he could have gotten more? I think he could have gotten more. Like, let's be real.
If he was on the open market, yes.
So,
but like again, he's coming off an injury, so not necessarily think he wanted to necessarily test.
Anyway, he played 9 games and still got 1,000 yards.
But you thought 40. I was like 35.
No, I was asking, could we see a $40 million wide receiver? Could we see it?
You had to think.
I thought maybe he was going to get closer to that. He's at $35 million.
I said 35, 36. You're like, oh, 40.
And we still got a lot more guys that got to be paid. And do you think someone's going to outset the market on him?
So that's what I was going to ask you. I want your opinion on that. So he has $35 million, 4 years, making
I will
140, 110 million guaranteed. So I'm going to help you out here a little bit. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. The 2 guys that are up, the 2 biggest names.
Yeah, 2 biggest names.
Either one of them going to surpass him on average or guaranteed?
I'm going to start it off like this.
I'm giving you options.
No, I know, I get that. But I'm going off, you did post on your TikTok, you compared CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson's number together. Yes. Obviously comparing their number. Not their talent, their numbers. Obviously the talent is more Justin Jefferson than CeeDee Lamb. But their numbers are very compatible. Mm-hmm. And so to base it off that, and Jamar Chase has been talking a lot how he wants to be. He's been very vocal about, I'm not saving no money for nobody else. I want the bag. Get paid. Pay me. He got $35 million. Now I will tell you this: I think someone's going to surpass this $35 million. I will agree with you that I don't think we're going to see a $40 million wide receiver, but I think after doing my research and looking, I think we're going to get a 37 to a $37.5 million wide receiver, and I think it will be CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb will get it. I think Jamar Chase is going to get about $36.5 million. I think is where it'll be. But their guaranteed money won't be the same. I don't think that anybody is going to get $110 million guaranteed. If they do, I'd be shocked. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Because Jerry Jones, he pays people. He overpays, and he's going to do it again. He overpaid Dak a few years ago.
That's the difference. That's a quarterback.
He's going to have no choice now. Justin Jefferson got paid. He should have paid CD before Justin. Because then we're going to be talking about CeeDee Lamb being $35 million, and Justin Jefferson would have really outset the market.
Well, we said, Cowboys. They weren't really. I mean, they were had contract talks. The Bengals with Jamar had contract talks, but everybody was waiting for the top dog to set the market. The players really weren't. The players are probably asking for the moon. The franchise are like, let's see what the top of the top is.
I don't think anyone's going to get his guarantee, but I do think that somebody's going to get more than $35 million.
You are literally saying that dude's going to get $37 million a year. You don't think that you know what that bumps that into from 140? That puts 150 plus. How are they not going to get his guaranteed? No, you're wrong.
I'm not.
Wait, you know what? Let's put a bet on it.
I get it's a different conversation, but Devontae Adams got the same contract as Justin Jefferson
3 years ago,
but less guaranteed. But it's the same contract, 4 years, $140 million, but the guaranteed money was not the same.
No,
that's why
he's making.
That's why Devontae Adams is only making $28 million
because the years were longer.
It was still 4 years.
Make that math.
It was 4 years. His contract when he signed it was 4 years.
Then how's he not making 35 if it's 140 million?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure his contract was 4 years, 140 million.
Math don't math. But if you math it by,
was it?
How much is he making?
20. He's making 28 million. Was it 5 years? Okay, so it was 5.
Math.
Okay, so it was a 5-year deal. He got a longer deal.
Cause he dumb. He's older. He was older when he got it. Let's put a bet. We want to bet on it. What do you want to bet that nobody surpasses? You know what? I'll double down on both. That no one gets more guaranteed. No, those two.
Guaranteed or per year?
I'm doubling down on both. CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase does not get on his basis of 4 years. They do not surpass 110, and they do not surpass.
Well, I agree with you on that none of them are going to get more than the guaranteed money than him. I don't think.
Then nobody's going to surpass him either.
No one's going to get more than 35 Everyone million. Always resets the market.
He's a top dog. He's not a quarterback. You reset the market. I don't know why we do it at quarterback, but no one's going to surpass Justin Jefferson.
Someone's going to surpass him. Someone's going to do it.
We want to bet.
That's a good question. We'll talk about it at a later time.
All right. Stay tuned for that because no one's going to pass Justin Jefferson.
I just think someone's going to pass him. I think Dallas, Jerry Jones would be stupid enough to do it.
Let's put a BlackBerry on it.
I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that. You hear? It's official. We're putting a BlackBerry crown on someone surpassing Justin Jefferson or not. Someone! Jerry! Pay CD! Cincinnati! Pay him! Pay that man!
I'm surpassing him. They do either way. I'm drinking his BlackBerry, so it's fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm drinking.
But I mean, I guess we talk obviously CD and Jamar are the two big dogs. But what do you think someone like a Brandon Ayuk, a T Higgins, and Tyreek Hill, who wants a new deal but has came out and said that he doesn't want to be the highest paid. He just wants security. Obviously, when you got 10 kids, you need some type of security. But that's for a whole nother.
It's the baby mamas. They're like,
it's a whole nother conversation. But what do you think someone like T Higgins and Brandon Ayuk are going to bring in?
Well, I don't know, but side note, if I knew Tyreek Hill was fucking me, raw dogging me, bitch, impregnate me. You're going to pay me. I'm like, that? Get me. Like, fucking get me.
I mean, making $30 million a year. He could. I mean. Boy, I don't know if Tyreek Hill's ever heard of a condom, but they do sell them at every local store and gas station.
There's Magnums, dude. They're built for you guys. Like, dude. Trojans, bro. I mean.
Oh, man.
Pull-out game works, too.
Like, bro.
Birth control's great.
Oh, God.
But I'm Brennan Ayuk.
When you think that they'll surpass, let's go over the recent guys that got paid. Devontae Smith's making $25 million. Jalen Waddle's making $28.25. Do any of those guys surpass
Yeah, well, I think both of them get about around $30 million. Both of them. I think Brandon Ayuk will cash in. Where's Debo?
Debo is right there at number 10, making $23.9 million. He's the 10th highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League.
They are shopping Debo, but I think Brandon Ayuk's going to cash in about anywhere from 28 to 30.
I just think Brandon Ayuk's going to cash in. He's going to look at it like, look, I've been to 2 NFC championships.
Well, he's the number one. I don't go. Well, that's see.
But the people,
he's a skill position. Those accolades like that is more for like a quarterback or like the head coach. He's been there.
That's fair.
But he also feel like he deserves to be paid, so he will get himself paid. So
where you put him? Is he going to be more than Devontae? More than so? You're saying 30. So you're saying he's going to be
30.
up there, right there next to Tyreek. So he's going to be next to Tyreek.
He's probably going to get about close.
T. Higgins as well.
T. Higgins is getting 30 plus.
30 plus?
30.
I think T. Higgins is getting traded. So obviously when he gets traded, that team's going to make sure you're going to have to pay him. So
I think he's a number one. Like T. Higgins is a number one. Brandon Ayuk is a potentially very 1A guy.
Well, again, but I'm going to go back to another situation. Think about this too. Brandon Ayuk has been very fortunate to have Debo, who is a Swiss Army knife. Put him everywhere. I'm going to compare oranges to apples here a little bit. There was another wide receiver that wanted to be paid at one point in time. Juju Smith-Schuster had looked great. He's playing next to Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, they got rid of him because Juju said, I can be the number one. What happened to Juju? Now, again, oranges to apples. Now, we do know that they're actively shopping Debo. You get rid of Debo, the Swiss Army knife. Can Brandon Ayuk still produce those same numbers without that Army?
That one
again. Oranges to apples.
Well, that's like apples to like grapes because like who's their quarterback? I mean, Ben was at the end of his career during all of that, and then we saw what Juju did with an actual Hall of Fame coming into their prime.
Should have been a 1,000-yard receiver, but obviously he got hurt and missed out.
So that's a little tough. But Juju really wasn't a 1A. No. He was really a best 2A, a low grade 1B type of wide receiver.
Yes.
The really good thing that I would like to touch on is the Bengals situation and the Niners situation. The Niners have Debo and they have Brandon Ayuk. The Bengals have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Both wanting to be paid. Debo's been paid and Brandon Ayuk's going to get paid. Yeah. There are 3 players that want to get paid. But they both have quote-unquote 1A guys.
Yeah.
But everybody says Jamar Chase is a 1A, is the guy, and T. Higgins
I don't know
is
if he is.
Maybe a 1B. Brandon Ayuk, people say he's maybe not 1A guy. Is what you're saying?
I don't think Jamar Chase is a 1A. I don't think his route running is that great.
I'm not really going to argue that.
I don't think he's a great route runner. He's a knockoff. He's like the Kroger version of Tyreek Hill.
Well,
Tyreek is name brand. Jamar Chase is the knockoff.
I would say he's more of like a Kroger brand of.
T. Higgins, I think, is a great route runner. Can do it all as a wide receiver. Can play inside, outside, wherever you want him. He's got great hands. Jamar Chase, I'm not taking nothing away from him, but dude, like Tyreek Hill, you're one ACL injury away from being done.
I don't think that comparison's fair. He's not fast. He's not a speed. To me, he's more of a...
His breakaway speed, but his downfield, no, it's not Tyreek.
I'm saying, I don't really... I think he's more of a Randy Moss, Tyreek Hill, T.O., like, junior varsity comparison. Like, he's like the Kroger... He's like a knockoff brand of those guys. He's a big body, and that he will go and get a jump ball, but, like... Where else is this intermediate routes? Where's the slants? Where is the route?
If you put Jamar Chase in any other system, would he still be the Jamar Chase we think? Because him and Joe Burrow have such a great connection. Joe Burrow forces him the ball because of the connection. Why do you think they're in the situation that they're in? Because he gets the ball so much, and everybody else is looking like, bro. Like,
that's more of a like the Stephon Diggs situation.
Well, yes.
Buffalo last year, because we saw what happens when they stop force feeding Diggs. But I don't. If you think about it and take a little bit of hate away, he's very similar to a T.O., a Randy Moss. Maybe even maybe a better comparison is an Ocho Cinco, but a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit faster. They can go and get the jump balls, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't really have that quick burst. in and out of his routes. I think it's the real problem. He doesn't have that quick burst out of his routes when he goes to cut. It's not really there. So he has a problem. I think you and I think we both. I think I speak for both of us. The separation out of his routes, out of the route tree, is lacking.
Yes, I'll agree with you.
Because he has great hands and he can make contested catches, but like. It's like the separation is lacking. I mean, he is a one. I mean, can be the guy, but he's always had another guy on the other side. Same way with the 49ers with Brandon Ayuk and Debo. They've always had each other, but it sounds like the Niners are leaning towards getting rid of Debo to pay.
It's funny.
Brandon Ayuk.
It's funny how they reversed it during the NBA or not the NBA, the NFL, the NFL draft. Brandon Ayuk was on the trademark. We thought for sure Brandon was being traded. Now we're in the OTAs. We're less than 100 days away from the season, and now Debo is the one they're trying to move on. It's like the 49ers don't really know what to really honestly do. Like it's obviously it's a different situation because when you look at Cincinnati, obviously Jamar Chase wants to be paid. That's why he's not showing up to anything. And T. Higgins is like, I don't give a fuck about the Cincinnati Bengals. Get me the fuck out of here. I want to move on. I'm done with this organization where the 49ers, they're both, obviously Debo's still paid. Brandon Ayuk's like, look, I want to be paid too. Like, I am a big part of why we are successful. In his mind, he feels that way. He's said that since they lost the Super Bowl.
He felt like he wasn't utilized.
Yeah, well, there's that too. He felt like he wasn't utilized.
All right, so let me ask you this. Jamar Chase, who pays him?
Cincinnati pays.
T. Higgins?
No, I think
somebody else.
Somebody else.
Yeah,
he'd be traded.
Okay. Niners. Brandon get paid by the Niners?
Yeah.
Does Debo get traded?
I think so. I think he will. Yes, I think he will be traded. I think the 49ers are going to use this opportunity to get some pieces, get some money off the books because they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy here in a few.
Well, they got to pay Brock Purdy next year, but why not pay Brandon Ayuk and have the money hit next year and move off of Debo if that's what you want to do?
They could do that, but I think if you're the 49ers...
Because they do also like that rookie they drafted.
The 49ers are still really... And that's why I think they'll trade Debo, because they have a new guy that can do everything Debo can, and he's cheaper. You can move off Debo now. Granted, that's tough to say because Debo's a proven man, and the rookie, you haven't played an actual meaningful snap in the National Football League. You've done it in practice, OTAs, something like that. It's not the same. And so not taking nothing away from him and what he's done, because when he did at Florida, you go and turn on the tape. The dude was phenomenal at Florida.
Though.
It's college. It's a different game you're translating. So it's just, I don't know. They could do that. I'm not disagreeing that they couldn't do that. See how it works. And then, next year, be like, okay, we got a guy that's cheaper. He's on a couple-year deal. We can move off Debo.
In that scenario, if you pay Brandon Ayuk, Debo's time is limited where he will be.
We also have to look at it, too. Say, for an example, they don't treat him. You got Debo that's making $24 million. We're just going to say $24 million.
That's cheap, though.
That's cheap. That's very cheap,
really.
Considering he is an Army Swiss knife. He can do anything.
Look at Miami. They're paying $30 and $28.
Yeah, well, and possibly going to have to up it because Tyreek wants a new deal, obviously.
A little bit more
but you have to say that basically you're saying Brandon Ayuk is literally going to be one of the top 5 highest paid NFL wide receivers. So you have two guys.
The market was reset to 35.
So
there's a gap there. What's second place?
Second place is 32. So there's a
$3 million gap.
There's a $3 million gap
to fit in our bet.
There's definitely, I mean, from 1 to 5, there's basically a $7 million gap between 1 and 5.
But see, to me, the Niners would be better.
Think about that. Between 1 and 10, there's damn near a $12 million gap. Like,
there's a big gap. There's
a big hit. Like,
I think the Niners should trade Brandon Ayuk versus paying him. They've seen what it looks like. They've seen what their franchise quarterback looks like without Debo.
To be fair, I wouldn't disagree with that either because the Steelers were very high on Brandon Ayuk. They tried to get him during the NFL draft.
Though, without Debo, you've seen the numbers.
Yes.
And they're better with Debo on the field than without the field. Brock Purdy's better with Debo.
I think I would also say that Brock likes Debo.
I think Debo...
And I think that was also a problem. Brandon Ayuk also feels that way, too. I think he feels that. He's more comfortable with Debo because Debo's an Army Swiss knife. I think there's more of a connection between Brock and Debo than there is between Brock and Brandon Ayuk.
Well, I think I think that's more of the coach. I think it's more like the offensive scheme is set up more that
But is
way.
it though? Think about this though. Like Tom Brady had his safety blanket, who he trusted and filled the most, and that was the ball going. Maybe Brock feels that Debo is that guy for him. Really, in all honesty, though,
Really, that should
that's
be
his
Kittle.
safety. Well, it should be, but Kittle to me, I don't understand George Kittle. I'm gonna be 100%
Or
honest.
McCaffrey.
Well,
Speaking of McCaffrey,
he did get an
paid.
extension. He got 2 years, $19 million. But if you really think about it, and you add in the tax and everything, it's really like $25 million. He basically reset the running back market in a way, but he really got.
He did reset it. Back
He did
to
reset.
$19 million
So
average.
it's very worth it. And I saw a lot of people hating on Christian McCaffrey didn't deserve that. Why? He absolutely deserved
That's hard
that
to
contract.
say that Christian McCaffrey does not deserve to be paid when he was literally should have won the MVP
He should.
last
Yes,
year.
we both
But-
agree that he should have been MVP.
Yeah,
And if you don't think that we believe that, go back, check our receipts. We've always said that Christian McCaffrey should have been the most valuable player in the NFL last year.
There
Absolutely.
was no quarterback, not even Lamar. Lamar's MVP season was nothing close to his MVP season of last year that he won it. McCaffrey should have won it last year. So
to
it's
be
well-deserved
fair,
money
all
there.
the guys that need to be paid, the guys that have been paid, I'm very curious how this all shakes up. Again, the T. Higgins, the Jamar Chase, the CDs, the Brandon Ayuk's. I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm very, very curious to see where it goes. There were some other wide receivers that needed to be paid as well. Who was it? We talked about it last episode. I mean, yeah, that was really it because Tyreek Hill wants a new deal as well. So he's already came out and said that he doesn't want to be the highest paid. He just wants some security, which we already touched on why he wants
money
that.
because they have baby mamas.
Yeah, so again, the NFL season is getting closer. A lot of things are going to be shaken
Training
up.
camp's about to open up. We're inching closer.
One more thing I want to talk about since we're on this NFL subject. I want to speak about it. Our quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
3-time Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Champion.
2-time
Not
MVP.
not 2-time league MVP. Obviously, 3-time MVP in the Super Bowl.
There you
Obviously,
go.
Super Bowl
Super Bowl
MVP.
MVP 3
Sorry, I had to
times.
get it out. Sorry. Dial up. He's not one of the highest paid quarterbacks, obviously.
I mean, he's top 5.
He's top 5, but he's obviously took a team friendly deal.
Lamar Jackson is
Hold
the
up.
Lamar highest paid.
Highest paid is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lamar Jackson, he is the highest paid. Patrick Mahomes is not. Patrick's been to the AFC Championship every year of his career that he's been a starter. He's at OTAs, isn't he? He's showing up to practice. He's there.
To the OTAs.
He understands what it means. Lamar Jackson was not at his OTAs and lost out on a $750,000 incentive in his contract to show up. But yet you want to win Super Bowls, but you're not willing to put in. I can't believe why are you not showing up for $750,000. Boy, I'm showing up like I'm stretching on the bench, coach. I'm here, like I'm showing up at least to show up. I ain't going in and playing if you don't.
Apparently, getting that $750,000 bonus was not that important.
And this is where I have a problem with Lamar Jackson. You talk about you obviously got Derrick Henry. That was a big acquisition in the offseason. Lamar Jackson slimmed down. He dropped like 22, 25 pounds. He slimmed down. Quite haven't understand that aspect of it yet, but you know a lot of
Tua though.
Yeah, Tua looked in as a motherfucker. But staying on Lamar and Patrick. Lamar has been, quoted as being the guy. Tom Brady has dubbed him as the guy that was going to be the future. And I'm having a hard time how the guy's the future if you're not willing to participate in these things. But yet our 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time league MVP.
3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP,
2-time league MVP is showing up, putting in this work, understanding this.
Let me correct myself because I was wrong.
Oh.
The Bengals, Joe Burrow is making $55 million on average this year. Lions, Jared Goff is making $53 million this year. At 3 is Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert at 52.5. Lamar at 4, $52 million. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts at 51 is at 5.
Where's Patrick? Is he number
6,
9?
$46.1
Oh,
million.
he's 6.
Kyler Murray.
Who? Kyler Murray has brought a stop. Oh my God. Where's Patrick at on this list? Where's Patrick?
Well, I was not trying to have that go find
Wow.
it, but
I thought he was like number 9 or something like that. Wasn't he? Hold up. Bear with us now, people. Bear with us.
At 7, Browns. Deshaun Watson, $46 million. 8, Falcons. Kirk Cousins, $45 million. Tied for 8th. Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, $45 million. 10, no other than Josh Allen, $43 million. Now the thing about Patrick Mahomes' contract though is we all know they fluctuates. They add it, they subtract to it.
Yeah,
they borrow money from
and
it.
And he did that intentionally to be able to keep the
That's
team.
why he signed that big 10-year deal. But he's tied for technically they have him ranked 9th.
I was right. So 9th. I was right. He's 9th.
Like
so, getting back on that. Obviously, I have a problem with Lamar Jackson. You talk this big game, and I like Lamar Jackson. I don't want you guys to think that I'm hating or I'm a hater of Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson. I like his game when he's not playing my Kansas City Chiefs. I do root for Lamar Jackson majority of the time. But you talk about how you want to win a championship, you're willing to do what it takes, but you're not showing up to these OTAs, and you're not willing to do it, and you lost out on money, which I think is incredibly dumb and rare that you see guys miss out on money.
He almost missed out on $1 million.
Like, I wouldn't, like, obviously I'm happy that Patrick Mahomes is showing up, but again, like, why does Patrick Mahomes have to show up? Like, nobody would be mad if he didn't show up. Like, we wouldn't be talking about
voluntary OTAs.
Like, it's voluntary. Like, I get it's voluntary, but, like, you should be wanting... Again, if you are a star player, you should be showing up to these events. I mean, I don't care who you are on the team. You should be showing up, especially if you are trying to win Super Bowls, because it sets the tone. If your leader's showing up, the rest will show. But if you don't show up, if I'm the leader, you're the leader, and you show up, or don't show up, and you don't show up, I'm like, well, I got to show up. Right. But if you show up, like, damn, I got to be there. My guy's counting on me to be there. Like, come on now. Like, I just think that's a huge problem. I don't know. You guys tell me. You think it's a problem? Let me know. If you don't, tell me why you don't think it's a problem. But I think it's a huge problem that Lamar Jackson didn't show up today. And he lost out on damn near $750,000. That's crazy.
Well,
That's crazy.
He had to show up to, I think it was like 85% of off-season programs and missing voluntary...
It's in his contract. It was literally in his contract.
I think it was like 85% of off-season activities during the off-season to kick in the $755,000 and missing involuntary. It's not, you don't have to be there,
but you should.
But missing it knocks him out of the percentage to be there for the off-season programs.
Like, I'm not saying that he didn't show up and he worked with his guys in the off-season. I'm not assuming that, 'cause I'm assuming he did
or do
on
something
the side.
like that. Maybe, sure, but going to the facility, getting the repertoire, not just with the offensive guy, because they have new coaches, they have new coaching staff in there, and to get the repertoire with them. Get with the rookies.
I mean, you think about it there. If you really think about it, last year, the Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens should have been in the Super Bowl, but you weren't. You had critical errors and mistakes, and it starts right here.
Yep.
It starts right here in these voluntary workouts. You have new teammates. Yes. You have new teammates. Derrick Henry. Like, I don't know if Derrick Henry was there, but like I hope he was there because these are very important moments. Kansas City, Travis Kelce there, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Wright, Patrick Mahomes. Everybody was there. Everybody was there. And you guys are wondering why Kansas City is able to withstand struggles and stuff, because the guys are showing up when they don't have to show up, and they're there. Because it matters to them. Like, and I get it probably matters to them, but obviously it doesn't matter enough. Like, you have to be willing to go above and beyond. And he's not willing to do that right now. And that's very unfortunate because I love Lamar Jackson. I really do. And again, you guys might say that I don't because I didn't think he wanted an MVP. If you go compare his last MVP to this current MVP, it wasn't even close. Like, Josh Allen was better.
Josh Allen had better numbers outside of the turnovers.
Like, so, again, I just have a problem with it. I know you have
I have a problem with him not being there, and also... That's my bad. It is just voluntary. I'm sitting over here thinking it's not involuntary means you have to be there. Voluntary. They're voluntary workouts. Not involuntary. That's my bad. But I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, I did not realize Mahomes was 9th/8th. Like,
I thought he was.
But when you look at it, Joe Burrow, okay, he's been to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, okay, you've been to a Super Bowl. The Lions paid you. You're the franchise guy. Justin Herbert. at 3. What the fuck is he done?
Well,
Been to one playoff game?
This year he's going to be handing the ball off to the running backs a lot because that's
this game he's going to be throwing it to himself this year. Like, the fuck? And then Lamar got, hey.
2 MVPs, been to the playoffs.
2 MVPs, so. Been Jalen Hurts, been to the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess. Kyler Murray, though. What the fuck?
Let's talk about Kirk Cousins. What the fuck? What Kirk Cousins done? That boy, whoever is like Kirk Cousins, dude, I give you, I tip my man's hat to you, bro. You've made money doing. I think you've won one playoff game in your whole career. One, bro. Like somebody asked me what career do you want? Give me Kirk Cousins. That boy made the bag. Oh, yeah. That boy made the bag. Like damn. That's crazy. I thought he was 9, though. I thought that's where I was. I was right. I was proud of myself. I was right about something.
But he has won one playoff game in 4 starts.
God damn, bro.
That means
God damn, bro.
He's had 4 playoff games and has won.
And it was the Hail Mary pass to Stephon Diggs, wasn't it?
No,
that was not. That was
Case Keenum.
Oh, Case Keenum. Damn. Shit. Oh, dude.
The Minnesota Miracle?
Oh, I guess that's right. That was Keenum. Shit,
Stephon Diggs.
God damn. Wow, that's crazy. Like, shout out to Kirk Cousins, bro. You secured the bag, dog. But
like, how the fuck you keep getting paid? That's the white boy keep getting paid doing nothing. That's the dude in a school project that just shows up to sign his name on it. Like, appreciate you doing work.
Damn, that's crazy. But again. Speaking of the NFL season, it's getting closer. Our goal is to definitely try to make some NFL games, if not together, separate. My man's here. He definitely going to probably be at some games. So he'll definitely...
Grow up.
I'm trying, you know.
Grow up.
It's tough.
Like, grow up so we can we can go. Like we did the OKC game.
Be a lot better than we were at the OKC game. I feel like we fumbled the OKC game.
We fumbled the bag.
We fumbled it pretty bad.
You went live on TikTok.
I did. It was new to us. I'd never been. I was enjoying it. I got lost in the moment, but we'll be better next time. Don't you worry.
You got lost.
But
I got lost in those small ass fucking seats. Like, I'm sitting.
If that wall was 2 inches further out, my knees would have been okay.
How was it if you were a seat behind? You'd be like, oh, that seat was 2 feet further ahead. That wouldn't fucking matter. Okay, seat bigger. Like, expand your shit, dude.
Speaking of the NBA,
we're going to Dallas.
Oh, shit, that's
we're going to Boston.
Shit, I ain't going to Boston. I ain't going to Boston. No, fuck that. But speaking of the NBA, completely changing direction here. We had game 1 of the NBA Finals yesterday. We were excited. We were pumped. We were like, yeah.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot to talk about in this game. Boston won game 1, 107-89. And you guys hear the score and you think, wow, that's some of a close game. It really wasn't a close game outside of the third quarter. Hold your britches. I know you're eager. You had said in the previous episode, Chris Porzingis was going to be a big X factor if he returned. And when we filmed the episode, we did not know if Porzingis was going to be back for game 1. It was announced he was going to be back for game 1. He showed up, 20 points, 8 of 13, 21 minutes off the bench. Yeah. And Dallas had no answer for him whatsoever. He was the player of the game, in my opinion, for Boston in game 1. Because Dallas had no answer for him. They literally switched. Every time there was a pick and roll, Porzingis was in, they switched, put a smaller defender on him, and it was barbecue chicken. He literally backed down. Now, there were some elbows, knees that he put up that I thought he got away with some offensive fouls, but nevertheless, it was not called. He got a bucket. We moved on. He got some big blocks, big rebounds. He looked a little winded, but outside of that, he was on fucking fire.
I mean, you say look a little winded. Oh, he won. He still put up what he put up.
He did.
He was the X factor in that game. He turned the tide. It was a good back and forth game. He came in and said, "Hold my jock strap while I blow this open."
Yeah. So Luka in the first quarter, it was 20-26. Luka. If you remember watching the game, he went down the court. He put his hand up to the bench on one out. They got the ball back. He put his hand up. He went out with about 5 minutes left. They were down 6. At the end of the first quarter, they were down, I think, like 17. Yeah. It was a big, I don't know what happened with Luka.
Porzingis exploded. I think Luka got tired. I think Luka got a little gassed.
Yes.
I think Luka came out very aggressive and overexerted himself a little bit. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gassed." We saw because he shot that corner three, and then immediately, it was wide open, and he damn near almost fucking airballed it. And he was like, "Oh, I need a sub." Yeah. And so he subbed himself out. Which I don't got a problem. But if you know you're gassed, you're gassed.
And he did it 5 minutes in, so give him enough time to go to the bench, get back in,
but
obviously,
again, during that time is when Porzingis
really
went off.
Obviously, at halftime, Boston led by 17. It was the largest halftime deficit in NBA Finals history.
Yeah.
And to start the third quarter, Dallas went on a big run. It was like a 22, 26 something run to like 9 run. And we thought Dallas got it all the way down to like 8 or 6 points.
I think it was 6 points.
And then the whistle started to blow for Boston. And I had a huge problem because there was 2 fouls that we could directly go to that were Jaylen Brown went into Derek Lively that I did not think that were fouls personally. Nope. And I'm a basketball fanatic. I played ball. I didn't think they were fouls. At not one bit. We were literally texting back and forth. I didn't think they were fouls, especially the second one. Jaylen Brown literally threw himself into Lively. And the first one, I didn't think it was a foul because he lost the ball going up. The ball wasn't even in his hands anymore, and they called foul. I'm not saying that the game was rigged. That's not what I'm saying, but the whistle definitely favored Boston more than it did Dallas.
It definitely seemed like somebody had something going on for Boston to win because all of a sudden that game got really close and they were going on a run and Luka was a big run. And then all of a sudden the game
Luka came out
halt with the whistle and got to the line.
They got it down to 8 and then boom, after that it blew back up to 20 and Dallas could not get back in.
Once they killed their momentum, they got them to the line, they got points. And I just feel like that whistle was a little quick or a little odd, I guess, when you watch the game.
So obviously,
didn't like it.
Another thing that I think that needs to be talked about that a lot of people aren't talking about is the game stats. Boston destroyed Dallas in every statistical category. Basically, they beat them in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, assists, rebounds, and steals. Boston had the same amount of blocks as Dallas had assists, 9. There was not...
But just think about that, though. They brought it all the way back to 8.
Yes.
And that's how it was laid out.
Yes.
And Jason Kidd, the Dallas head coach, even came out and said, this series, I want there to be more 2s made than 3s made. Yeah. And that didn't happen for Boston. Boston
shot 42 threes. They made 16 of them, shot 38% as a team. Dallas, I think, only took like 24, 25 threes and only made like...
But the thing is, Boston's not going to shoot that hot.
No.
The whole series.
But I will say this, though. The biggest problem I had with Dallas in Game 1, they left too many wide open threes, especially to Derek White and Sam. Obviously, you can't do nothing about Porzingis being hot. He just got hot. I think Porzingis is going to do that again. No. Again,
I expect a different game plan for him.
I don't think their game plan for him. I don't think. Granted, nobody expected Porzingis to come out like that.
Whatever
he
they
missed over a month
to do to him,
it did
not work.
No,
and so they really didn't have anything to try to stop him. I expect they have something in their defensive scheme to stop him or to slow him down.
One of my biggest problems in the game for me watching, obviously the rebounding, 43 to 47, that's total offense and defensive rebounds. But I thought Dallas gave Boston too many offensive rebounds. Boston got way too many offensive rebounds. Early on, it was definitely a problem, and that's really where the wind came in. They were scrambling. And to be fair, though, Dallas, nobody really showed up. Kyrie was really a no-show.
Kyrie was garbage.
Kyrie, Kyrie is 0-11 in his last 11 games against Boston. That's a huge concern. He struggled playing there. I don't know what it is, but he needs to get rid of them jitters. And I expect him to be better in Game 2. Game 2 is this Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Time. So it'll be 8:30 Eastern Time, so 7:30 here for us. But, outside of Kyrie, nobody else really showed up.
After Luka, nobody showed up.
All right, after Luka, nobody else showed up. But I need to speak on one other thing. Luka is the first person in his NBA Finals debut to drop a 30-point double-double since 1999. And do you know who that person was in 1999 that did that?
Who was it?
Tim Duncan.
Yep.
That's it. There's nobody else in their NBA Finals debut. He joins very elite company. So Luka did his thing. Dallas has got to be better. I expect Dallas to be better. Game 2, a better game plan. Their lobs, their big thing, it just was not there. Dallas did.
This is 7'3".
Yeah. One thing I will say though, this is not me being biased because I am picking Dallas to win this series in 6. I like to see it go 7, but I'm saying 6. I'm sticking to that. I said that on my TikTok. I'm sticking to that. It is what it is. I did think, and this is not me being biased, I just thought that a lot of the drives that Dallas did attacking the basket, there were some fouls that were missed that Boston got on the other end. I said I thought the waiver favored Boston. Granted, they were in Boston. Fair enough. I mean, home crowd, home field advantage. It is what it is. You're going to have to deal with it. But Dallas has been here before with the Clippers, OKC in Game 1, and they've always been able to bounce back. And I expect them to bounce back because I do think Jason Kidd is the better head coach in this series. He's seen everything you could think of it as a player. He's matured as a coach, and I think the Celtics are going to ride high. Think about this. Let me, and this is why I say this. And this is why I feel this way. The Celtics' leading scorer, obviously, was Jaylen Brown at 22 points. 7 of 12 from the field. He was 2 of 6 from 3. That wasn't that great.
No.
Porzingis was the second leading scorer at 8 of 13. He was really, I said, the player of the game for them.
Well, yes.
The star player that everybody glorifies. That I still think is a great player, regardless. But they over-glorify him. Jason Tatum. He had 16 points. You know how many shots Jason Tatum took to get 16 points?
No, you
16 fucking shots! He took 16 shots to get 16 points. He didn't have to do a whole lot. He had 5 assists. He understood. I was proud of Jason Tatum, honestly. I'll tell you that. Because Porzingis was hot. Normally you see Jason Tatum like, nah, man, this is my time. Like, I need the ball. He fed Porzingis. He did.
What did he for 5 assists?
Well, he did in the beginning.
Just for 5 assists?
For 5 assists. I mean,
That's
I'm pretty sure all 5 of his assists were to Porzingis.
5 assists?
Hey,
the dude took 16 shots. How many shots did Porzingis take?
13.
How many shots did Brown take?
12.
You got my point?
And Derek White took 11.
Do you see my point? That the guy that had the third most points took the most fucking shots. He was the last quote-unquote
But again,
star.
to be fair, with like 5 minutes to go in that game,
He was still in there.
Dallas, yeah, he was still in the
And
game
everybody
with
got points.
everybody else.
The bench was in for Dallas. I'm like, tell me you're trying to stat pad his fucking stats so he looks good. Which brings you to what I'm going to tell you. We're going to go game by fucking game and mark this down because we can't trust the fucking voters. We're going to do it for everybody else. Obviously, the Celtics won Game 1.
Yes.
Dallas didn't, but we'll say Luka was the MVP for Dallas. Who's the MVP for Boston?
I would say Porzingis.
Exactly.
He was absolute.
All right. Game 1, Porzingis. Check. Brown? No. Tatum? No. Luka? Dallas.
Like Porzingis absolutely was the play of the game, and if you don't agree with that, then I don't think you watched the game because he literally was the focal point.
You didn't watch the game? Look at the highlights.
Every time there was a pick and roll, the ball went down to Porzingis, back down, turn around, banger, barbecue chicken alert.
Without Porzingis, this game would be completely different. But I'm glad we have that in there because I do agree. I do have to say though, for Dallas fans, they're like, "Oh man, this didn't look good." You played a horrible game and brought Boston all the way down to 8 to 6 points, and then the whistle happened, and then it exploded again.
And nobody played well besides Luka.
That is something there to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
I mean, PJ Washington, I felt like had a solid game for what he is. He had, I think, like 10 points.
PJ Washington had 14 points. Oh, I guess he did have. He was 5 of 11, 0 of 3 from 3, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 14 points on 11 shots.
14 and 8.
Derek Jones Jr., 2 of 9. Garfield, 3 of 3.
We could definitely say
Kyrie, 6 of 19.
Kyrie's not going to have another bad game like that.
No.
Being back in Boston for the first time in the final, well, not the first time, but in the finals for the first game.
In this moment, yeah.
But these young crew for Dallas, I expect to settle in, got a taste. Boston's been there, done that, and they still almost squandered it, and then the whistle saved them, in I think both of our opinions.
Yeah.
So if I'm Dallas fans, though, I'm like, you know what? We lost to OKC game 1. We lost to the...
But you have to also ask yourself this. If Luka doesn't check himself out or be overexaggerated, whatever happened at that 5 minutes mark, we could be talking about a different outcome.
Could have been maybe a little bit different. Maybe if he didn't overexert himself, maybe he goes bucket for bucket with Porzingis and keeps it maybe close. But again, you have Kyrie checked in for him.
Yeah,
so that's really not a good excuse.
No.
You expect Kyrie when Luka goes out.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Kyrie. When Kyrie's out, it's Luka's ball. It's Luka offense. When Luka's out, it's Kyrie offense. When they're both in there, we know their scheme is very spread and it works.
Yeah.
But you can't feel bad. There's an upside to this loss.
Dallas has done this all playoffs. They've been here in game 1. They've done this. They've battled back.
They've dropped game 1, and it's on the road. You're not supposed to win game 1 on the road. So it's cool. You got game 1, and I expect to see a lot more aggressive. They're bigs. I expect everybody to be a lot more aggressive. Because, honestly, it looked like, to me, Boston got that big lead and just...
But we've said this before.
Nonchalant.
Boston is they can put a big lead on you, but they can blow it just as fast as they put it on you. And they did.
Damn near.
And again, Dallas didn't play well. None of their players really played well, really, outside of Luka. I mean, Luka's seen every defense. I expect them to make the adjustments, and I think Game 2 is going to be a lot different. Like I said, Game 2 is this Sunday at 8:30, whatever. It'll be 7:30 our time. And I think it's going to be a different Game 2. So we'll have to see what Game 2 looks like, but I think it's going to be a lot better.
Well, if you think Jason Kidd is the head coach that you are saying he is, then I expect him to come out with a lot better game plan than what they gave towards Porzingis.
What's wrong, buddy?
There was a bug in our house, and Bobby was trying to crawl in.
It's okay. He'll get it. Don't you worry about it.
Hey, Daddy, can I just watch you guys just watch this?
All right, you come sit over here. It's okay. Father time never ends, guys. Fatherhood is always... Okay, I appreciate it. The bug can't get in here. Brandon will get scared.
I will get scared.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But, like I said, Game 2 Sunday. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a better game.
Right here.
You sit right there.
Yeah.
That's my little one, guys. That's my little one. That's my baby. But in other news of the NBA, we thought J.J. Redick was kind of the shoe-in for the Lakers head coach, but
it came out that he was.
He was the favorite. Now, all of a sudden, out of the fucking blue, out of nowhere, the Lakers have interviewed the UConn coach, Dan. I'm not saying his last name because I botched it too many times. Dan, the head coach from UConn. They have talked about offering him a multi-million contract, multiple years. UConn has countered, said that they're willing to offer him so much money that would make him the third highest paid college coach in NCAA. And Dan's came out and said that he's 50-50. He doesn't know if he wants to stay in college and go for that three-peat or if he wants to make the trail to the NBA and coach LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this coming out of the blue? Because, I mean, everyone, I don't know.
Well,
this head coaching job for the Lakers has been very weird because there's so many narratives out there that LeBron is involved, not involved.
That's the narrative, though, that needs to be squashed. The people that don't watch, that isn't so in tune to sports, watching SportsCenter, ESPN, and all that, they've all came out, Woj even came out and said, LeBron has nothing to do with the firing or hiring of head coaches.
He doesn't want to be
or
a part
player
of it.
personnel. The last input he had was him coming out and saying he wanted Kyrie Irving, which they did try. They offered when he got traded from the Nets to the Mavs. It was Westbrook and 2 firsts, and the Nets turned it down, and
obviously sent him to Dallas.
And so he came out and told the Lakers, according to Woj, do not take a head coach. For me, take a head coach that you feel will be best for the long run. Because he's 40 years old. He ain't going to be there. Do what's best for the organization.
He's more to the end of his career.
Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like, there's no big name out there. There's no big name hunting. But
he's probably the biggest name out in.
But if you could big name hunt, he's definitely
back-to-back national champion.
That is so hard to do. Last team to do was UCLA.
Yeah, so
I mean, on the men's side, but on the women's side, it was UConn.
Yeah, so again,
And he's really great at development. They have a lot of developmental type players on their roster.
And he's a very smart coach. Like, he's offensively. In his mind with LeBron's mind, I think would be okay. Like,
LeBron's even came out and has
said that he's
shown love for him and likes it. So, like, it's almost like the best.
And he said that before the Lakers even looked at him. This was way before.
When they won the chip.
Yeah.
And so it works. It's almost the best of both worlds of, like, I think a hard decision is to stay and build what he built there in college or make that jump now to, like, a lot of people don't think the Lakers are a good team to jump to. Why? You have a star in AD that's going to be there for the long run.
Yep.
Yeah, LeBron's going to be gone. So once LeBron is gone, it's AD and the head coach's team.
Yep.
Now, could they go and get another star? Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not. Like, it depends what they want to do. You know, D'Angelo Russell's contract's kind of a big deal. The opts in or opts out. But I like it for the Lakers in the now and in the future. But a reason why a lot of people think the Lakers are doing it is for Bronny.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bronny situation is very... It complicates everything because everyone knows that LeBron has been very vocal about playing with his son. And Bronny, I have to give kudos to Bronny. He's been PR trained to the mat. He said all the right things, and he said he's just trying to make it to the league. He's not worried about playing with his dad. That it really is not something he's thought of. And to be fair, it's probably not something that he's really thought about playing with his dad. But for his dad... That's never been done in the NBA. You have to go all the way back to MLB, Kenny Griffin Jr. and Kenny Griffin Sr. for something like that to happen. So, again, the Bronny situation, I think, it might have a little bit of play in here, but I don't know. There's so many teams that Bronny has turned down. He's only working out with so many teams.
I think he's worked out with now a total of 3 teams.
You know, there's talks that the Mavs might take him. The Suns might take him. There's talks about Utah. I'm like, well, LeBron's not going to Utah. So, I don't know. Bronny's just trying to make his way to the league. Sitting back and having a nice conversation with my man here and thinking about myself, I think this would be a good hiring over J.J. Redick because Dan has been very proven in the basketball world. I mean, like you said, going back-to-back in college is not easy. I mean, especially, it's a single elimination. It's not best 7. It's one and done. So we'll have to see how it goes. We'll have to stay tuned to it. Staying on basketball here, I want to touch on women's basketball here. There's been a lot of things that have been said in this league that I'm not a fan of. You know, obviously the Caitlin Clark saga that's been going on. She's taken a lot of cheap shots in the league.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like former player or current players or former players, are like, they need an enforcer. She needs to stand up for herself. Where her teammates at? You got Angel Reese that's coming out and saying, you know, that you're watching women's basketball because of me, not just one player. And I have to address this narrative. Caitlin's never said that they've watched women's basketball because of her. That's been the narrative that other people have put out, not her. She said, I've paid homage to the people who came before me. She understands it. But to sit there and say that she is not taking cheap shots, I think is absolutely insane. She is taking cheap shots from players. I do think there is not a lot of hate, but there is some animosity from certain players towards Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And I don't know why there is. There's more eyes on this sport than there's ever been before. And I get it. There's been a lot of great players in this league. There's been a lot of great players in this league. And I love women's basketball. I've watched women's basketball. I know my man right here. He'll tell you he has not. I have watched women's basketball. I remember Candace Parker coming in as a rookie and winning Rookie of the Year and MVP. I don't think that'll ever be done again.
Like, you gotta think where the league was then when she came in, talent-wise,
yes.
where it is now.
And
so
people,
that's just like
people want to say it's the media and because this draft class wasn't that great. I think this draft class was really great. You talk about Caitlin Clark. Can pull up from anywhere. Obviously, she's learning. Angel Reese, one of the best offensive rebounders in the WNBA. Cameron Brick, she's leading the league in blocks like 3.2. There's a lot of great rookies. The rookie from I can't say her name. She's a Hawaiian's descent. I don't know her name. She's absolutely going crazy. There are so many great rookies in this class. They're doing great things. The WNBA is that they got the charter flights.
For 2 years. But the thing is, it has nothing to do with the rookie class. Like, if people are trying to say, well, the rookie class is just weak.
I don't think it's weak.
So, what that has nothing to do with people actually watching the game. Pull up the attendance. Wherever Caitlin Clark goes, high attendance.
It's like damn near
As soon as
20,000.
she leaves,
It's like
and they have another
maybe
home game,
10,000.
It drops 10,000. They have like if Caitlin Clark's out there, it's like 7 to 9,000. Caitlin Clark's home game.
Caitlin
almost
Clark
20,000.
cannot help who is attracted to the game, who she's attracted. She is just going out there and playing. But at the same time, be happy that there's eyes. Think about this. We have a podcast. We are talking about women's basketball. First Take is talking about women's basketball. Other shows are talking about women's basketball. I'm here to tell you, nobody was doing that. It was a very small segment. Hey, women's basketball, and we're done. And we're out. Cut to the next.
No,
Like, we're
it was
actually,
not WNBA. It was women college basketball
Yeah.
that people enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that has now transitioned. Now, that's a lot to do with the media coverage. But it's also, to me, has some to do with Seth Curry and his 3-ball that people in the world have fallen in love with just shooting the deep shot and seeing it go in. And Caitlin Clark has some of that little magic that people really like. I still stand on the podium, and I'll be the first. I'm banging the drum. Drop that rim a foot. It won't affect the shooters. They will adjust. Shooters shoot. Shooters will adjust, and let these women bang. That's what I want to see, body on body. I want to see Angel Reese rise up and just bang it. Like, if Angel Reese...
Brittany Griner will love that.
Brittany Griner's not going to go to Russia then. But Brittany Griner's going to bang out on everybody, because Brittany Griner was the last really woman that could really kind of sort of dunk. But for Angel Reese, they dropped that foot an inch. Angel Reese would have actually ground to stand on and not quicksand.
Yeah.
Because we don't.
He feels that way. That's how he feels. A lot of people feel that way. You've heard other NBA stars feel that way. The women don't feel that way. Who knows?
Women are like, no, you're not equal to men. Quit trying to be equal to men in a sport that you're not equal in. Shooting wise, yes, we saw it. You took the best of the best of the best shooters in the 3-point contest, and Seth Curry. Well, not in the 3-point contest, but in a separate little camp in the contest, and Seth Curry, and you went neck for neck, and if she would have been in the 3-point contest, she would have won it, or at least been tied for it to go into a shoot-off. So the saying women can't shoot, women can shoot, but men can rise and dunk. It's biologically, biologically men are just stronger, bigger, faster, and we can jump. Well, I mean, we're white, we can't jump. He really can't jump.
Not anymore.
But
those days are gone.
He could never jump.
I could.
He's like 5'2".
So,
woo! Ouch! But women, drop that rim an inch. The fucking 6'4", bang! Like, that's all we want. That's why we don't tune in to watch the Dame, the Seth Currys, to shoot deep threes. That's cool, but I want to see Giannis launch from the free throw line and dunk it. LeBron James bully through and bang it.
It's crazy how the league has gone from the dunking to everyone fell in love with the dunking to now we fell in love with the shooting. It's so.
But if women would introduce dunking, and a woman's also tell me. If a woman's did a dunk contest, people would not tune into that.
No, I'd turn into a woman's dunk contest.
I would love to see.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll keep it a buck.
Women's mind are so great. I would love to see. Like, you're gonna see women dunking over fire. Like, it's gonna be like they're gonna jump through a hoop of fire. Like, I don't know. I mean,
I would tune into a dunk contest.
The best men guys, we jumped over. Blake Griffin jumped over a car, and now we're jumping over like Shaq. Bring Yao Ming.
Taco Fall.
We
jumped over Taco Fall. So, like I said, overall, though, I think
jump over Victor Wembanyama.
Shit, no, I can't do that. No. But overall, the WNBA, I think, they're doing great. They're capitalizing. They're expanding. We're getting new teams.
3 new teams coming.
So, I just think, women's basketball is heading in the right direction. They're capitalizing on it, like we've said in previous episodes. They need
better.
But overall, like I said, I just think the hate needs to stop and just enjoy it. You're getting a crap ton of new. I mean, man's never followed women's basketball. He's following women's basketball. And it's not just because of Caitlin Clark. He follows the Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. He pulls up the stat. It's not just one woman. Now
she's tall. Caitlin Brink, she's like 6'4". I'm like, that's a lot of legs. That woman is tall.
So, again, just enjoy that you have the eyes on the sport. Keep capitalizing on it. We're happy for it. And we'll see where it goes. Hopefully they stay in the right direction. But that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You guys have a great weekend.